Patrick Findaro, co-founder at Vetted Biz. Welcome to our YouTube series, Franchise Flops, where we're about to embark on a deep exploration in the dark closet of franchises. We go through some of the more problematic franchises. We leave no stone unturned. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Since David Daglar founded K1 Speed in 2003, K1 Speed has hosted more than 8 million amateur go-kart racers. We estimate they've generated more than $1 billion offering indoor go-kart racing throughout the world. This franchise is in a bit of turmoil though, and I'm going to go through 8 different factors that we've uncovered that can be applied for looking at all different types of franchises and 8 red flags that we identified for K1 Speed. Those that don't know the brand, based in Irvine, California, Orange County, and they have over 70 family entertainment locations throughout the world, many of which based here in the United States. We estimate they have system-wide revenue over $140 million per year of revenue. So that segues pretty well into the number one red flag that we encountered, that financials and marketing materials are not included in the franchise disclosure document. This includes information shared with reporters, such as from Orange County Business Journal, an article in January 2023. The article stated that typical locations bring in between $2 and $4 million annually with potential profit margins of 25 to 35%. According to company franchise marketing materials. Startup costs for a franchise range from $1.8 million to $3 million, according to the company. In the FDD, there were no financials disclosed in the item 19. And in fact, they did advertise back in 2021 and 2022 on their website that successful owners can expect to make $2 to $4 million in sales at a 25% to 35% profit margin. Where if you're making $4 million in sales at a 25% profit margin, you're making about $1 million a year operating a go-kart facility. Number 2, the franchise disclosure document, the FDD, is not registered in states that this franchise, K1 Speed, is being sold or has opened franchise locations. So this includes California, Wisconsin, Minnesota. We could find no record of this franchise, K1 Speed, being registered with these states. The closest thing we saw back in about 2016 was K1 Speed filing with California that they did not have to register their FDD in the state. Also, a bit of a red flag, they previously advertised on their website selling only in registration states. This does not include California, Hawaii, Illinois, Wisconsin that regulate the sale of franchises. Then they changed their website in 2022 to advertise in many registration states they were not registered in. States, again, like Wisconsin, California, they were not registered, advertising to open up a K1 Speed go-kart franchise in those states. I took the liberty to call Michigan, the state attorney's office, to see if they were registered, which that was one of the states they actually did register in, but they did say that there was a complaint on file from a franchisee. We submitted a FOIA request with the FTC as well as the Michigan State Attorney's Office, so more details on what that complaint and potentially other complaints have in store. Number 3, franchisor and/or related parties make money on vendor relationships, especially those that are not disclosed. David Danglard has ownership stakes in a slew of companies benefiting from K1 Speed franchisees. As you can see in the image, the web of companies that are related to David, many of them are vendors to K1 Speed franchisees and are benefiting from all different types of ways, whether it's the software company that's being used or the go-kart manufacturing. These relationships are not being disclosed to prospective franchisees as they should be in item 8 of the franchise disclosure document. Number 4, it's a red flag for franchise brands when they have a high count of lawsuits, especially when you consider the total units open in the United States. So there's roughly 40 locations open. We estimate less than 20 of those are franchise locations. And it's pretty rare to have this slew of lawsuits against the franchisor, K1 Speed Franchising. In 2023 alone, there are 3 lawsuits from franchisees, presumably former, it doesn't seem like they're currently franchisees. In the past few years, at least 5 lawsuits from franchisees as well as other stakeholders like employees. Big legal issue with the state is another red flag. California pursued legal action for $2.5 million of back taxes that K1 Speed owes the state of California. Number 5, lists of franchisees not disclosed in the franchise disclosure document. They only disclose 2 of 13 U.S. current and former franchisees. they promote one celebrity in the space that is a franchisee or was a franchisee of a couple locations in Oregon. Kenny Roberts Jr., 2000 MotoGP world champion. It's unclear if he sold his locations or if he continues to operate them. We've seen conflicting information online. This reminds me of another franchise brand leveraging the celebrity persona, which was Clean Juice. They did a similar campaign with their famous franchisee, Tim Tebow, former NFL player, and Clean Juice is in a slew of issues with their franchisees as well. But it shouldn't be a mark of credibility when a famous person gets involved with a franchise brand. They could potentially have been duped as much as you. Number 6, unprofessional marketing and candidate process for prospective franchisees. Now, this is just plain sloppy. If you go to the K1 Speed website and you look at their franchise application form, it's an application form to apply for a Subway franchise. All the legal language is for Dr. Associates, the legal name of Subway. And Subway is mentioned numerous times on the franchise application webpage for K1 Speed. And number 7, you have missing financials on the franchisor. Exhibit C is missing in the franchise disclosure document. No financials on the parent company K1 Speed. In conclusion, there are a lot of different red flags that would probably be confirmed by speaking to at least 5 former and current franchisees of K1 Speed. Now, franchisees, I'd love to hear from you or directly from K1 Speed Corporate. What am I missing here? Is there more to the story? Is this opportunity worth it for prospective franchisees to investigate in 2024? Or is it better to look at other franchise opportunities?